Hello everybody, this is Rosemary Art once again. Welcome back to my channel. I am greeting you with an already started piece because I had tried to do some handmade prints before and they didn't turn out how I wanted to, so I had to scrap them. And I wanted to make sure that this take actually had the designs I wanted, so I made sure to start it before I hit record. And here I am trying to show you the great, wonderful process. And then this is editing me realizing that I've covered up the whole thing with my hand. So let me explain this pattern to you. I'm really into doodling and kind of drawing patterns by hand as well. So that's kind of what gave me the inspiration for this. I've always wanted to add in my touches as well. I just didn't know how. But I've been watching a lot of pattern doodling reels and videos on Instagram, which seem to be helping a lot. So the process for this is you take a bunch of curved lines, you put circles in the middle, and you kind of outline the borders of the inside shape of what the intersection of the curved lines make. And then from the circle, you kind of draw little wonky petals out to the border to make them look like imperfect flowers, and then with a thicker black pen you color in the spaces that remain after drawing your squarish petals. And so the purpose of this is to kind of make them look florally, but to have to find the positive in the imperfections, I think. And I had a really fun time doodling this, so if you ever get a chance to hand doodle on your scrapping series or anything else, you really should try. Even if you don't think you're good at it. Doodling only takes a second, and if you don't like it, you can cover it up, scrap it. But I urge you to try, it is fun. This video is going to be brought to you by a lot of different sound effects than before. I also have a transition that I tried out, but I had a lot of fun recording this video. I think I found my angle. I think I found how I'm going to be recording these videos from now on. You will see some peekaboos of my face coming in too, but I did not cover up the scrap this time, so you get to see my full process. This video is cut heavily because there's a lot of downtime and there's a lot of decisions that I'm making while just sitting still. So I had to cut a lot of that out. But other than that, I think this is just going to be a very chill video. There's just me in the process for a long time in the middle. I don't really put anything else. I will continue with my voiceovers during that time. But for now, just enjoy. And that was my very funky transition for you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm planning to do more stuff like that. So To explain the process of what is going on here, I am obsessed, should I say, with the opening door to a different dimension thing right now. So this is me, once again, about to stick the first plane of the other dimension down. This came from a rainbow forest background paper, and I loved it. I got it from the flea market once more. I got a whole bunch of like the psychedelic rainbow colored background papers. A girl, just is a sucker for some rainbow colors. What can I say? So at the beginning, at the very forefront is going to be what is the door to this other worldly realm. So this time the theme is a book, and it has a bunch of potions on top of it. So I'm guessing what it is a spell book, but I used the theme of the books and the words to kind of quote a line that's actually in one of my decoration banners in my classroom. It says, "In between the pages of a book, or between the pages of a book, is a great place to be." And I wholeheartedly agree. Now, I will admit, I am not an avid book reader, although I wish I was. I was a lot more when I was younger, but I think with my job being very demanding, I think a lot of the books that I read are now curriculum books and student essays. So in between all of that and my creative hobbies, I just haven't found the time to really sit down and read a book. I think the last book that I read was, there was two. There was one, more of a serious kind of like high teen drama book, to compare to something. It's called the Moon Princess's Daughter, I think, or the Daughter of the Moon Princess, something like that. It is based in Asian culture, and it's on a Chinese folktale, and it's about how a moon goddess, it's the daughter of the moon goddess, there we go. It's a moon goddess, and she has a daughter, but the daughter doesn't know that her mom is actually the goddess of the moon. And so a lot of ethereal events take place, and so she finds out who she is, and it's a journey on what she wants to become. There's lots of twists and turns, and of course there's romance, right? Because there has to be. But oh my gosh, when I tell you there is drama with that romance and lots of plot twists, I mean it. If you're into high teen kind of drama, romantic fantasy like that, you should definitely check it out. There is another book that I read just for fun, lightheartedness, and that one is Meet in the Margins, I think, or maybe not. I don't remember. I always get these two books confused, but basically, I also think this is getting actually a Netflix adaptation to it. But it's about a girl who is very peppy, and she works at this editorial company to edit books and texts and stuff like that. And across from her, or next to her, works her coworker, but he is OCD to the T. He has a different tie for each day of the week. He has everything in a very particular order, and he loves to just slightly jab at the female coworker, the female lead, every single day. So of course she's embarrassed, she's ashamed, she builds resentment for this coworker. Unbeknownst to her, he really feels different on the inside. A wonderful, light-hearted enemies to lovers. And there's this one very particular scene that I literally did not stop rereading. I think I read that scene just about 3 times. It's when he finally indirectly confesses to her, and she realizes through the color of his walls. I'm gonna leave it there. I can't spoil too much. But if it sounds interesting to you, I think it's called Meet Me in the Margins. If not, I'm so sorry. I think it's a different book. But anyway, those are the two that I had more recently read. There is a whole slew of books that I kind of want to start reading, but they're all thriller books, and I can't I don't like reading thriller at night. It gives me lots of creeps and heebie-jeebies. What's your favorite book? What kind of genres do you like? And are there any books that you would recommend for me? I would love some book recommendations, actually. I'm into fantasy, I'm into mystery, I'm into thriller, psychological. What else? Romance, definitely. If it's a book that'll make me angry or make me invested with emotion, you'll get me. I don't think I'm that hard to please. So go ahead and drop me some recommendations down below, please. All right, let's go back to the process here. I am cutting up some stickers that I have decided on putting. So at the very bottom, I have a very deep green and earth tones, browns, beiges, and it's like a compilation of those kinds of roses and flowers down at the bottom. And at the top, with a contrast, I wanted very pink, very light toned stickers to be at the top. And I'm actually very excited about this. What I'm cutting out right now is actually, I think it's supposed to be a 3-pane stained glass window, but I'm cutting 1 pane out because all 3 didn't fit. Had I thought of that earlier, I actually would have put all 3, but it didn't. So, I am now going to begin trying to fit all of these pieces together. And there's a little bit of chaos today, so please enjoy. I think I always tend to kind of laugh at myself. I don't record my face, like my whole entire body, during this process for obvious reasons, but I just implore you to imagine the faces that I make every time I rip something. And it's kind of a superstition, but if I don't rip anything, it's kind of like that. I don't think that scrap will be successful. I have to rip something. Something has to go wrong within the process for it to be a good scrap, in my opinion. Just my superstition. But that was me struggling to get that window pane in, and it's bothering me that it's not straight. But that is all quite all right. I'm going to continue yapping as we continue watching the process. This is my favorite part because it goes very smoothly. I'm going to now stick down the deep colored flowers at the bottom, and then I'm going to pick and choose and stick down the bright colored pink flowers at the top. I've also heard myself say a billion times in the last track, so I'm going to really watch and forego the filler words. You are all just listening and watching the process of me learning as we go. This YouTuber thing, it's quite difficult to do. Those are some decor paper. I think they're more vintage style, and I wanted to incorporate those because they had a lot of word pages in them that simulated books and information about books. So I wanted to use some of those pages, and I didn't quite know how to fit them, but you'll see later on how I'm able to do it, and I was actually quite very, very pleased with the results. Here I did choose a deco paper that I'm going to use for the top corner, and I felt so blessed in this moment. I know it's really weird, but the fact that I have my own space, the fact that I have the means and the time, and I can put my effort into making content like this and being able to indulge in my hobby, I think is a wonderful blessing. So it was at this moment that I actually was feeling very, very grateful. A little stressed because I had to take my dog's potty in about 20 minutes, but very grateful nonetheless for the process. Today was very chaotic while trying to record this video, but here we are, still sticking through to the end. I actually think the video quality came out a lot better than I had expected, so that was a wonderful outcome. And you see here, I'm trying to figure out a way to use the deco paper to cover up the margins, but also I wanted to see how creatively I can make it. Did I want the solid background deco paper, or if I wanted something else? You'll see my process in a second of what I picked and chose, and I think I did quite a good job. So please look forward to it and enjoy. finally gotten to a place where I knew what I was going to stick down. I wanted words on the deco paper instead of just a plain border. And these are the processes unforeseen. If I had known that I wanted those in the background, I would have put them first before I had put all the layers of paper down already. But that's the beauty of scrapbooking. Making mistakes, ripping some things apart, fixing it, and such is life. I am a person who plans majority of her life. My work demands that I plan. I just am an anxious, I carry a lot of anxiety, and so I am a natural planner by nature. But there are times where I just want to slow down, where I don't want to have to keep track of the time that's flowing, where I can just do the things that I want to do. And even if I mess up, have the opportunity to fix them, because that's okay. And I think scrapbooking was one of the creative outlets that it was okay to make mistakes. And I think I've mentioned this in my other video, but I just wanted to reiterate how good and how therapeutic and how healing a creative outlet like scrapbooking and junk journaling is for somebody who has obsessions and perfectionism tendencies. Because if you mess up, it's not the end of the world. It's not like you can't cover it up. You can fix it, you can cover it, and it will still probably look really good. And here is a really fine example of the creativity coming out of spontaneity. I just cut off the edges of the floral sticker that didn't fit, and here's me looking for the other piece I cut off. But I took the borders and I am sticking it onto the borderline of the deco paper, and it turned out really cute, and I was very, very obsessed with it. But I was very proud of how it turned out. So it really just does show that not everything in life has to be planned for it to be amazing, for it to turn out the way you would want it to. And just saying, I don't go into scrapping knowing what I want to create, which is probably why there's lots of duplicates, like the door theme that I've had going on for the last 3 mini scraps, I think. But each one is so different, and I think there's a beauty in that. And it's okay if they repeat. It's my scraps, right? So it doesn't really matter. But taking the time to slow down and really have fun with it, I think is what helped me start this and continue this. And I think this is a hobby I'm going to continue for a long time. It's a bit messy, but this is how you know that I'm locked in. This is how you know I'm having a lot of fun, is when, because I usually clean while I'm doing a task, like when I'm cooking, when I'm, I don't know, doing other stuff. I tend to clean. That's when I tend to kind of take my time and think and slow down if I don't have a plan. But you can tell I ain't cleaning nothing. All the scraps are just landing on my cutting board, and I'm leaving it there because I am having the time of my life. I am locked in and I'm having a great time. So you're gonna see me start cleaning at some point, but it ain't right now. I hope you enjoy the process as much as I do, and keep enjoying watching this video. All right, this is one of my favorite parts. I told you I had a lot of favorites, huh? I took the handmade pattern that I was doing and I colored it in. So the original creator, I don't remember the name. I will be sure to link the person who made this doodling pattern on Instagram down below. But when they had created it, they had drawn dotted lines inside of the petals and made it look more real, more 3D, more in depth. I wanted it with color, so I forgoed, I skipped the lines, and I am here filling it in with color. At first, I was thinking just brown tones, just earth tones on both ends, because why not, right? We have a lot of color everywhere else. I thought it'd be okay to tone it down a bit. But then the three colors I had were light brown, beigey orange-ish color, and a burnt orange is what's going on here. But after that process, I kind of was like, what would happen if I added some green? And it was after that moment that I decided to use color, and it looked really, really nice. I didn't put in all of the coloring process here because it just would take too long, and you get the point after the first three that I do. But I really loved how satisfying it was that all the colors matched and all the colors worked really, really wonderfully. So I hope you enjoy the process as much as I do. right, everybody, that concludes my mini series part 2. I honestly had so much fun doing this one, and I hope you all enjoyed watching the process as well. I hope in the meantime that I, as well as you all, also get a chance to pick up a really good book and try it out. R.LUM.R out. Until next time.